What a weekend, huh? Oh my goodness, the arrest of Michael McKee and the murder of his ex-wife, Monique Tepe, and her husband, Dr. Spencer Tepe, and an extradition hearing today. We're learning more about this man who police say murdered the Tepes in their Columbus, Ohio home. Hope I got that right. Now I'm second guessing myself. In their, yeah, Columbus, Ohio home. Let's get into it. This video contains mature themes and discussions intended only for adult audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello there, my friend, and welcome back to another True Crime Conversation with me. My name is Gavin. Thank you very much for joining me wherever you're joining me from. And I'm seeing in the live chat right now, are already doing what I'm going to ask you to do, and that is to tell me where you are tuning in from. What do we got here? We got San Jose in the house. We got, my thing doesn't want to go. What do we got? We got San Jose. We got Birmingham, Alabama. For some reason, my thing keeps on Oceanside, California. We got Arizona in the house. We got Oregon in the house. Oh my goodness, Sharky Sharona telling us that JP Miller was in court today too. Dang it, that's one piece of news that I did not look up for our headlines later on. Ooh, JP Miller in court. Good, 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 good. What else we got? We got Chattanooga. We got Ohio. What would my grandmother sing? Beautiful Ohio. I don't know the words, but she loved that song. She and her sister sing that all the time. What do we got? We got North Carolina, Texas, South Lake Tahoe, Maryland, Pittsburgh, PA, Indiana, Western New York, Katy, Texas, Hartford, Connecticut, Detroit, Michigan, and the list goes on and on. Oh, south of Sweden. Now, are you saying you are in the south of Sweden or you are south of Sweden? Because there's a lot that's south of Sweden. MT Mookie. That's my little sis right there. Orangevale, CA in the house. Nova Scotia, Lancaster County, Henderson, Houston, Texas, Newport, Rhode Island, Land of the Rising Sun, Canada, Sweden, Ireland, Carlsbad, Oklahoma, Michigan, Rochester, Brisbane. Oh, North Central Wisconsin. Thank you guys. I thank you so much for tuning in wherever you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, what are we talking about today? We are talking about Spencer and Monique Tepe on December 30th. Is that right? I keep on second guessing myself on these things. Uh, the dates and stuff. Hold on. Yeah, December 30th. Man, I gotta stop? I gotta just have confidence. I gotta exude confidence. So on December 30th, Dr. Tepe failed to show up to work at the dental practice where he worked. That that set off alarm bells for his coworkers and friends who said to themselves and others, this is not like Spencer. Let's call up to the house. Call the house. Monique doesn't answer. That's even more concerning because these two people, it's out of character for them. They call 911. 911 sends the police out for a welfare check. The cop goes to the wrong address. The co-workers make their way out to the Tepee home. They continue to call 911, apparently kind of ticking off the 911 operators. That's I don't know, my interpretation from listening to the calls. Eventually, a worker is able to gain access. A coworker is able to gain access and discovers Spencer's body. Police come out. They do an investigation. They put out this video for all of us to look at, saying, "Hey, this duder was there. He arrived before the murder. He left after the murder. Does anybody recognize him? Look at him." And then on Saturday, boom, this man is arrested, a guy named Michael McKee. Now, What connects Mr. McKee? If you were with us on Saturday at our impromptu live stream, well, Mr. McKee was once married to Monique Tepe, but it's been like 8-9 years. They don't have any children together. He himself is a vascular surgeon. Monique had she hung out with the in the crowd, man. She belonged there. She had a postgraduate degree in early childhood education. She was no slouch at all. She was amazing. But she divorced Mr. McKee and later married Spencer Tepe. And in about 2020, and the two have two children together, ages 4 and 1, along with what I'm sure is an extremely smart and obedient and good boy or girl, I don't know, golden doodle. So that's where we are today. Now, what are we talking about today? Well, it turns out that Mr. McKee was arrested in Illinois, where he had a home in a swanky skyrise right above Lincoln Park with Lake Superior views. It was swanky, man. So let's read this from WIFR. Dateline, Rockford, Illinois. Michael McKee waives his right to an extradition hearing during his court appearance Monday. So this must have been just an arraignment, right? A public defender with the 17th Judicial Circuit representing McKee, Carrie Poirier, I don't know how she would say it, Poirier? Hercule Poirot. No, that's Poirot, Gavin. That's not it. Poirier, let's just say it the American way, requested a speedy return to Ohio to plead not guilty in the case. Now, a hearing was set for next Monday, although it is expected that hearing will be canceled if and when McKee is extradited to Ohio. A date when McKee may be extradited was not given. Now, I have, for your viewing pleasure and our education, the 2-minute hearing for Mr. McKee. I want to make sure my audio is all a-working. And let's have a play-a-roo at this, shall we? Here we go. This is our public defender right here in the courtroom.
Third quarter, the defendant is present in custody.
Your name, sir, for the record?
Michael McKee.
Have you had a chance to speak with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's your position at this time?
Yes, at this time, Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. McKee, I will assert his right to counsel. I will assert his right to remain silent. And Mr. McKee believes that the most expeditious manner in which he may defend himself against the charges pending in Ohio and to plead not guilty would be to waive his right to an extradition hearing and to have a governor's warrant and to agree to his immediate transportation to Ohio.
Understood, thank you. We will set this matter then for 2 o'clock on Monday for status on the transfer.
Thank you.
Anything else we can do today?
Not for this one.
That's a pretty big dude. He looks like a strong man, too.
Thank you, Kirk.
I think he was listed as 6'1", 200 pounds. That's an imposing figure.
Thanks, everyone.
That's the hearing. That's the entire hearing. So we likely won't see another hearing of that Monday date. He probably will be extradited long before that. And that date will be canceled, and then we will see him in an arraignment probably first in Ohio to face the charges of murder, the murder of Monique Tepe, his ex-wife, and Spencer Tepe, her husband. Now, this is begging the question. Huh? Like, what the crap? What the devil, man? That is, my question is, why? Why? And I think that's a question that most of us are asking. I've got a couple of things, okay? Number one, we've got friend of the show, Jen Coffindaffer, offering some ideas on News Nation. So let me bring you on over here to this article from News Nation. Headline says, motive in Ohio murders likely a festering resentment, ex-FBI agent says. Okay, and this is written by whom? Natasha Zuves and Michael Ramsey. Revelations that a Chicago man charged in the killings of an Ohio couple was once married to victim Monique Tepe suggest a, quote, deep-seated resentment and hatred, close quote, had festered for years, a former FBI special agent says. The bodies of Monique and Spencer Tepe were found December 30th as police officers conducted a well-being check at the couple's Columbus residence. Their young children and dog were unharmed. There was no sign of forced entry. The suspect that authorities arrested over the weekend, Michael McKee, had been married to Monique Tepe from 2015 to 2017. Records indicate, quote, this divorce happened about 9 years ago. They were married for such a brief time, Jen Coffindaffer, law and justice contributor, told News Nation Prime on Sunday. That is strange, but I think it was a deep-seated resentment and hate that just built up and finally came to this conclusion. Investigators reportedly zeroed in on McKee, 39, after tracking a vehicle that had been parked in the neighborhood at the time of the killings to Rockford, Illinois. McKee, a vascular surgeon, is being held in Winnebago County and is slated to appear in court on Monday, which is what we just watched. Coffindaffer said the motive in the case always seemed personal to her. The accused killer likely studied the Tepes and obtained the passcode that unlocked their door, she said. They had stalked out the location well. It was also very clear they knew where the camera locations were because they evaded a lot of camera coverage, it would seem, she said. I'm glad she added that, it would seem, because the only camera that we are aware of is the one where we see this video, and that is just because police made us aware of this video, right? We don't, there possibly could be other cameras. This just seems to be the one they wanted to share, perhaps because it was the one that was maybe the best indication of who he was. And police are saying that this man is indeed Michael McKee. So that is Jen's take on it. Now, there's something else. This came from the Daily Mail from yesterday. This is a bit long, but I think we're going to go over it. Now, what should I preface this with? I should preface this with, we really don't know what the motive is. And unless Mr. McKee shouts out in court, hey, everybody, I decided to kill Monique and Spencer because, and then he tells us that's the only way we will know what the motive is. Right? And prosecutors don't need to prove a motive. They only need to prove the components of homicide. And, of course, juries love to know motives because juries are human. Juries aren't human, but jury members certainly are. And we as humans want to know, we want to know why. All right, so let's get back to, wrong button, Gavin. There you go. This is written by Mary O'Connor, Emma Richter, and Will Potter for Daily Mail. The family of an Ohio dentist and his wife, who were allegedly shot dead by her cardiovascular surgeon ex-husband, has broken their silence for the first time with a relative revealing they suspected the alleged killer was behind the crime. So according to this family member, when Monique and Spencer were murdered, they were like, I bet it's Michael. Mother of two, Monique Tepe, 39, and her second husband, Spencer Tepe, 37, were discovered shot dead in their home in Wineland Park, Columbus on December 30th. On Saturday, Can you guys tell? Dang it, Gavin. You know what I'm about to do? That's right. That's right. I'm doing a tangent. Guys, have you noticed that I've been yawning a lot lately, and I've been holding them back. And my wife, my snuggly bear, my sweetie pie, my one and only, she's been giving me these breathing exercises, and I've been teasing her about it. I'm a tease, okay? I've been teasing her about it, but I'm trying not to yawn. But it finally occurred to me, and I don't know why it hasn't occurred to me since. Last August, when I decided to say goodbye to Fat Gavin, that was the last time I consumed caffeine. I have not had any beverage besides water since August. And I used to, when it was almost time to go live, I used to get a soda because I'm not a coffee drinker, not a tea drinker. My caffeinated beverage of choice is fizzy, right? And fully leaded. So I used to get like a big gulp. It's not really a big gulp because it's not 7-Eleven, but a soda, like a fountain drink, right? And I would be fully caffeinated before I started my live stream. And here I am wanting to yawn. I'm not tired. It's been a long day. It's tangent. I know. Thank you very much for sitting through it. Okay. On Saturday, Monique's ex-husband, Michael David McKee, 39, was charged with 2 counts of murder over the brutal double homicide. News of McKee's arrest came just one day before grieving friends and family gathered to remember the Tepees on Sunday afternoon. That's when the funeral was. Speaking ahead of the service, a Tepe relative who wished to remain anonymous told the Daily Mail, I hate anonymous sources. Oh, I just hate anonymous sources, but okay. Told the Daily Mail they were not surprised by McKee's arrest, but felt relieved to know their alleged killer is behind bars. They said, quote, it was absolutely not a shock to anybody. We had all expected it, but we weren't saying that because we didn't want to compromise the investigation. Oh, look how they used proper punctuation. Well done, Daily Mail. We are all breathing a bit of a sigh of relief because they got him. Close quote. I imagine that they were worried for the children. They probably were like, we know it was McKee. Is he going to come back? And that kind of thing. When asked if they knew of any problems Monique and Spencer had with McKee recently, the relative replied, not that I'm aware of. Monique and Spencer Tepe's family broke their silence on their gruesome deaths just before the husband and wife were... Oh, no, I don't know why it does that in these prints. Spencer suffered multiple gunshot wounds, we understand. Monica was shot once in the chest. Now, I don't know where that information has come from. Maybe family members, because I'm going to open up if you were with me on Saturday, I found the affidavits of probable cause. I was able to obtain those. Let me just pull it open real quick because I don't think it says anything in that affidavit. Let me bring that up. Because I don't think it says anything about cause of death. Yeah. Summary of facts. Gunshot wounds. Yeah, it doesn't say. So it makes me wonder if this article got that information from a family member. They're not sourcing it, so I don't know. But it says Spencer suffered multiple gunshot wounds and Monique was shot once in the chest. Their 1-year-old son, 4-year-old daughter, and dog were found unharmed and are currently in the care of loved ones. I should add, physically unharmed. This family was harmed. These children were harmed, just not physically. This is going to be something that resonates maybe for a couple generations. The couple was found around 10 a.m. after Spencer's panicked colleagues and a friend raised the alarm and called 911 when he didn't show up for work that morning. The murders are said to have occurred at 3:52 a.m., according to the criminal complaint filed at Franklin County Municipal Court on Saturday. And indeed, we did see that in this document right there. 3:52 a.m. on December 30th. Cops snared a suspect through neighborhood video surveillance and tracked him to a vehicle which arrived just before the killings and left right after, a summary of facts supporting probable cause stated. Detectives traced the vehicle, and let me just read that for those of you who weren't with us on the weekend, okay? Here's the summary of facts in the affidavit. On December 30th, 2025 at 9:57 a.m., Columbus Police Patrol officers were dispatched to 1411 North 4th Street. When I do my Snuggly Bears breathing, and I breathe in deeply, it makes me freaking yawn. Maybe I need to come up with some solution to this. But anyway, they were dispatched to the North 4th Street home on a check on the well-being of Dr. Spencer Tepe, who had not shown up to work. Officers arrived and found Dr. Tepe and his wife, Monique Tepe, deceased inside, suffering from gunshot wounds. 2 minor children were found inside the home, physically unharmed. Columbus Fire Medic number 7 responded and pronounced both victims deceased at 10:11 a.m. Columbus Police Homicide Unit Team 2 was advised, responded, and initiated an investigation. During the subsequent investigation, detectives were able to identify a suspect through neighborhood video surveillance. The suspect was tracked to a vehicle, which arrived just prior to the homicides and left shortly after the homicides. Detectives were able to identify this vehicle further and link it to Michael McKee. Detectives located the vehicle in Rockford, Illinois, and found evidence of McKee in possession of the vehicle prior to and after the homicides. Now, keep in mind, this is just the information they decided to include in the affidavit of probable cause in order to get a judge to sign off on an arrest warrant. It's likely, I think in Ohio, what's going to happen is Mr. McKee is going to be indicted. He'll be arraigned, and then it will be presented to a grand jury, I believe. The other option is perhaps there will be a preliminary hearing if he doesn't waive it. And in that preliminary hearing, the prosecution will put forward more probable cause information, likely, but probably not their whole case. So we really don't have all the information here. Okay, back to the Daily Mail. Detectives traced the vehicle to Rockford, Illinois, where McKee works as a vascular surgeon at OSF St. Anthony Medical Center, and found he had been in possession of the vehicle before and after the homicides. McKee was subsequently arrested in Rockford without incident, meaning he went peacefully, and booked into the Winnebago County Jail, police said. The couple's family's remarks come after McKee's neighbors said she was left stunned after hearing the surgeon had been accused of killing the Tepes. Geraldine Kolaric, I'm Ms. Kolaric, I apologize if I butchered your name. A neighbor of McKee at his upscale Illinois apartment block told ABC7, I ought to show you guys this. Let me show you this address. It's 2100 North Lincoln Park West. 2100 North Lincoln Park West. Give me just 1 second. I'll bring it up on a map. 2100 North Lincoln Park West, Chicago. Okay, first off, going over to the old website. Look where we are in the Chicagoland area. Okay, north of downtown Chicago, right on Lake Superior. You can see where we are, Lake Michigan, I'm sorry. You can see where we are in the world, right? I bet you geography people are like, Lake Superior, Gavin, what the devil? Lake Michigan. And then if we go in, I think the best place to put our little Google guy is here. And we spin around there. This is the building right here. And I think I can even back up just a little bit more and look back at the building. That's 2100 North Lincoln Park West. This area over here is all Lincoln Park. It is a very desirable neighborhood. The cardiovascular, well, actually, I think he's just a vascular surgeon. I don't know that he's a cardiovascular surgeon. Maybe he is. But the Daily Mail described him as cardiovascular, and I don't know the difference between a vascular surgeon and cardiovascular. Gavin. Okay. So let's go back over here to Geraldine Kolaric saying, let's see. She told ABC7 she was devastated to hear the news and expressed her disbelief that McKee was accused of murder because he, quote, did not seem like somebody who would do something like this, close quote. And I understand what she's saying. I get it. There are some people where you're like, yeah, you're a murderer. Totally. Yeah, I get it. But some people that surprise us, I guess. In fact, on Saturday, when we joined in an impromptu, unscheduled live stream, many of you corrected my thinking when I was like, what the, huh? He's a vascular surgeon. They haven't been married since forever. He's got licenses in many states. He was a standout academic in high school. He went to the Ohio State University. You know, it was like he had everything together. What would make this guy do the deed? And I was correctly, I guess, what's the word? Correctly corrected. Gavin, come on. Let me see if I can get a good screen grab of him here. Will it? Let's see. There he is. It's just so hard to... right there. There he is right there. Anyway, I was corrected. You're like, you know what? People who are high achievers, maybe they're coercively controlling too. And that reminded me, oh my goodness, guys, you got to forgive me here. That's right, another tangent, okay? I was talking to somebody who shall remain nameless, but I will say is a high achiever and is married to a high achiever. And this person told me, I shall refer to them as they, them, as to not give away the gender. They told me, never chase the high school high achievers. They peak too early and they got issues. So, get those that achieve later in life, right? It's really funny. I thought it was funny anyway. So yeah, maybe he's just a very controlling dude. Who knows? So the neighbor recalled, I sat down with this man. I talked to him at the pool, barbecuing. It's kind of shocking. Kolaric said she was heartbroken for the couple's 2 young children. How do you explain to a child that mom and dad are here one day and gone the next, she said. Those are real victims of this whole case here, the children, and she is correct. These are, I've blurred out their faces. I think they need to remain anonymous. They need to keep their privacy. But that little 4-year-old, that little 1-year-old, yeah, how do you just say mommy's not ever coming back? Daddy won't be here ever again. It's tough. And I'm the son of a man who was told his father was dead when he was 7. I'm telling you, and of course not in a violent, murdery manner. My grandfather died in an accident, so it's different. But still, we as a family have felt that loss now for, well, that was 1956. So 70 years. Or it will be 70 years this year. So anyway, yeah, she's absolutely correct. Following the arrest of McKee, the Tepe family said in a statement that the arrest, quote, represents an important step toward justice for Monique and Spencer. Nothing can undo the devastating loss of 2 lives taken far too soon, the family said. The shooting sparked an urgent manhunt that included investigators releasing footage. Yeah, we all saw that. Cops did reveal there was no sign of forced entry or the supposed murder weapon, but police did find 3 9mm shell casings at the scene. They said they did not believe the deaths to be a murder-suicide. And I'm sure that there have been search warrants sworn out and returned on his different residences, because he, up until recently, was practicing in Nevada. He's been practicing, as far as my memory serves, Virginia. He had a license in California, right? So he had different residences. I'm sure they're trying to track down that gun. Let's see if there's anything else. McKee's mugshot was shared on the Winnebago County Sheriff's Office website, which showed he was booked into jail on Saturday just before noon, and then he appeared in court today. Monique, then under her maiden name Sabatursky, was married to McKee briefly from August 2015, with pictures shared on social media of the couple on their wedding day on August 22nd. The couple had no children and separated 7 months later in March 2016. In the complaint for divorce, the plaintiff, Monique, stated they were incompatible. Divorce documents viewed by Daily Mail showed proceedings started in May 2017 and were quickly wrapped up by June. Yeah, that is quick. The documents reveal he paid for her engagement and wedding rings and listed them as his separate property, stating he paid $2,500 for the engagement ring and $3,500 for the wedding ring. The couple's separation agreement included a requirement that Monique had to pay McKee $1,281.59 back for miscellaneous debt, with the added clause that if she did not reimburse him by July 1st, 2018, she would be hit with 23% interest. Wow. Very specific. Must have been on a credit card or something. When the pair filed for divorce, they were living in different states, with Monique living in Westerville, Ohio, close to her parents, Ignatius and Nereda Sabatursky, and working for Nationwide. McKee lived in Roanoke, Virginia, working for the Carilion Clinic. He was listed in the documents as practicing as a vascular surgeon at the OSF Cardiovascular Institute. When the divorce documents were filed, they also included a standard mutual temporary restraining order requiring both parties to refrain from harassing, interfering with, assaulting, or doing bodily harm to the other spouse. I think that Mr. McKee was unsuccessful in living up to that endeavor. The exes paid their own attorney fees, and Monique paid the filing fee and fee for a private judge in a bid to expedite the proceedings privately. A police spokesman told the Daily Mail that no further information will be released at this time so as to not compromise the active and ongoing case progress. He said more information would be released when appropriate. And this article came out yesterday, and so it talks about the public visitation set for noon to 3 yesterday, followed by a celebration of life, which, as far as I know, did take place. Now let's bring up the Tepes and let us go over to your comments. Remember, if you put GF in your comment, that will help me to see it on my end. Okay, scrolling way back, scrolling. Okay, Navy Mama Deb says law enforcement said their time of demise was 3:52 a.m. Very specific. Indoor cameras, maybe, possibly. Yeah, I had wondered if there were gunshots that may have been heard by a neighbor or something like that, or an outdoor camera may have heard the report of the gun as well. So, yeah, possibly indoor cameras. And you know what, guys? We should all have these things. Camera systems are cheap. You don't have to subscribe to, and no, this is not sponsored. I'm not segmenting or segueing over into a sponsored segment. I'm just saying, we don't have to pay for expensive security systems anymore in order to have good high definition, sometimes ultra high definition footage, sometimes ultra high definition footage in the dark. We should have these things. We should make these investments into our homes. G Smile Sarah says, I joined the live just in time for the tangent. Well, I'm glad. I hope you enjoyed it. Glad you did. Darlene says, why not treat yourself to a big gulp once a day? It won't kill you, don't you think? Yeah. Here's the thing. Actually, I did a short about this earlier today, and you guys have been so awesome. I am an all or nothing kind of guy. And when I decided that I was going to lose weight, I just decided to go all in. And people have been asking me, this is a bit of a tangent, but you guys have already seen that 3 times or twice. It doesn't need to be 3 times. This is, what was I saying? I'm an all or nothing kind of guy, right? When I decided that I was going to lose weight, I cut out everything that I knew was making me gain weight. And the fizzy, sugary drinks was perpetrator number 1 as far as I'm concerned. Persona non grata, Sodona non grata number 1. It's very important to me. I got rid of it. Now, I still love it, and eventually I will get back to it, but for now, I got to stay away from it because I'm doing this au natural, right? I'm eating whole foods. I'm not eating very many calories in a day. It's way, way back from where I was. It's up from where I cut it originally, and I'm exercising. So yeah, don't tempt me, Darlene. Darlene's tempting me, everybody. Tell Darlene to stop the temptation. I'm going to stick away from it. Okay, scrolling down to the old... Patricia Burns, do you have a window open? If not, open one. Your body is craving higher level of oxygen than is in the room you're in. Maybe that's it. Of course, I live in Western Pennsylvania where it is so freaking cold. Maybe I should, Patricia. Maybe I should. Because this yawning is killing me, man. Lebu Grizzly arrived a little late today watching from Brazil. Ashley Banfield looked through the divorce docs and Monique listed her engagement and wedding rings as assets and stated she paid for them. Interesting, because what we just read was the opposite. That's really funny. Miss Chivo's Dragon says, this is also my first Gavin Fish Live. Welcome, Ms. Dragon. I'm only getting back into true crime since the Reiner murders. Oh, and we've covered them at length and we will continue to cover. It's, how tragic, right? Just tragic. Brian Rambles, thank you very much for sending that gift membership. So awesome. You're a terrific person. A. Heineman 9138 says, I believe he specializes in varicose veins and other non-heart. Cardiovascular would specialize in the heart. Thank you for that clarity. Appreciate that, Heineman. Sharky Sharona, thank you for sending those gift memberships. Guys are awesome. Do we know what sports McKee played in the past? I'm wondering if he had concussions. History of concussions. I don't know. I do not know. Let's see. I'm going to just keep on going until we get to the last. Yeah, Heinemann says she paid for the rings, but the Daily Mail reported it differently. So I guess I would have to look at those divorce docs to see. Yeah, you're all kind of clued on that. She paid for the rings, not him. I should tell you the story of Kimberly's ring one of these days. I'm a terrible person. How does he qualify for the public defender? That is interesting. This is a vascular surgeon. How indeed did he qualify for a public defender, or did they just go, you know what, just put a public defender on him so that we can get him out of our state? I wonder if that's what it is. Emmy Nikolov says the Carillion Clinic reminds me of Morgan Harrington. Chaos Mama, I've wondered if there was a smartwatch that showed when the heart stopped. Ooh, what a great comment. Guys, as Joseph Scott Morgan is fond of telling us, this is the future of forensics, right? Is digital forensics. Maybe that's it. Maybe one of them or both of them were wearing smartwatches that detected when they expired. Yeah, it's possible. Possible. And I think even probable. D9072, Gavin, all or nothing. You need to work for balance, or when you get to your goal weight, it will come right back. I promise you, I am well aware of what I am doing. Well aware. I'm in it for the long haul. Thank you. And then Catherine Fitzpatrick also says she paid for the rings. The exact time of death may be a Fitbit watch or other body monitoring device. Just a thought. Good. And Rin Tin Tins also says the Dr. X did not pay for the wedding and engagement rings. Monique did. A Heinemann, time to acquire a taste for black coffee or tea. I'm just not a coffee or tea guy. I think you know what I will do every once in a while. It's been a long time. I will do mate. I'll do yerba mate, the proper way, the Argentine way. But I don't know. I've lived without caffeine for 5 months. It's kind of great. Gavin, he did play football and basketball in his high school. That's right. We did read that on Saturday. I read that too. You're right. Thank you for reminding me of that. Beach Fairy says, hello from England. By the way, after watching your last live on replay, I emailed you new questions for 3 questions. I got a lot of new questions for 3 questions, which we are going to get into. Actually, I don't even think that I could have created a better transition. I couldn't have. Let's get into 3 questions.
It's 3 questions with Gavin Fish.
Pow. Okay, guys, on 3 questions, what we do is I answer 3 of your questions. I solemnly promise that I will do so to the best of my ability, that I will not dodge questions, that when I get them, I will answer them. And what I ask of you in return is to send me the questions. That's the first part. Part A, this is like a 2-part epoxy. Okay. Part A is that you send me questions to 3questions@gavinfish.com. It's spelled out THREE questions@gavinfish.com, 3questions@gavinfish.com. And I will endeavor to answer those. Part B of this amazing, strong epoxy resin that we are creating here is that you also answer the questions in the live chat so I can see what your answers are. I find that delightful. So here we go. Let's move on to question number 1. Question number 1 is, I saw your interview on Crime Analyst with Laura Richards. Laura is somebody who I really admire. I love her to death. And I'm wondering, is there a next step with the Ellen Greenberg case that you're working on, or is it basically a dead end to hope for change now? I'm kind of in a holding pattern personally, but that does not mean that the case is in a holding pattern. Actually, I should not. What I'm about to share with you is not fact that I know, it's what I suspect. Okay, because anytime I've asked, I've been told I've been told no comment. Okay. I believe there will be another lawsuit filed by Joe Pedraza and Will Trask. Let me bring up. These are the lawyers for Josh and Sandy Greenberg, the parents of Ellen Greenberg. I believe that there will be another lawsuit, and there needs to be another lawsuit. So yeah. In addition to that, I think that there are efforts, they are endeavoring to try to get this case federalized somehow. I think it's possible to be done. There are investigators that want to investigate this. And I think that I will see the arrest of a suspect. Now, my suspect is probably the same as your suspect, but he's not an official suspect. Great question, and thank you for sending it in. Question number 2. If you could go back in time to witness but not interact with or change a single memory, what would you choose? Like my own life, a memory from my own life. Oh, man. If I could go back in time just to witness it, like I would be standing away and watching it happen. You know, when I was really little, 3 or 4, and I was just reminded of this recently because I was going through old things and I found, do you guys remember those little books? What are they called? They have like the golden, they're called little golden books. That's what they have, the golden spine. I found one of those packed in my things and I opened it up, and in my mom's handwriting, it says, given to Gavin. It had a date when he had his appendix out. I was a bit of a sickly child. And I would love to see I would love to watch what my parents did. I already know that they did amazingly because I know my parents. But I would love to watch that interaction, what my parents were doing as I was hospitalized when I was little. I bet they were amazing. And I bet it was a sight to see. And they were young. They were in their 20s, right? I was born in 75. Yeah, they were in their 20s. I think that would be pretty awesome. Now, but that's not well, I remember being in the hospital. Yeah, that qualifies. I'd like to know what memory you would choose. There are other things like, I don't know. I guess the first time I saw Kimberly would be cool to see what my face looked like. I bet I looked freaking Twitter-pated. That's funny. Tell me what memory you would choose. I love that. Last question. If you could have any obscure, unusual, non-monetizable talent, what would it be? Okay. My mouth is dry. Hang on. I know. I got this one. First, I was thinking like unlimited number of things to juggle, but I don't care about that all that much. But there is a movie with James Garner. What is the name of the actor that played Colonel Potter on MASH? You guys know who I'm talking about. This is an old movie with James Garner. It's called Support Your Local Sheriff. And it is awesome. Okay. It's part of there's also Support Your Local Gunfighter, and then Maverick became a thing. Anyway, Support Your Local Sheriff, there's a scene where James Garner takes a washer. He flips it in the air, he draws his gun, he shoots it, and he catches the washer, and he's like, the bullet went through the hole in the middle. And then he's like, Harry Potter was like, I can't remember the name of that actor. Like, well, maybe it did and maybe it didn't. He put some tape on it, and then he flipped it up, and he's like, pew, comes down, and it did. He shot through it. And I was like, dude, I don't know. I would love that trick marksmanship kind of stuff, the Annie Oakley kind of stuff. Yeah, I'd be totally down with that. I'd love to hear. Harry Morgan, thank you, Ohio Palm Mom. Harry Morgan is the name of the actor. Yeah, I don't know. Just like sharpshooting, old cowboy, old west kind of showy stuff. That'd be fun. I'm actually a pretty good marksman, but I'm not throw a thing up in the air pew, and catch it and it went through the hole in the center. I'm not that guy. Nobody is that guy. So I want that obscure, unusual, non-monetizable talent. Now, while you guys are click-clacking away, putting in your answers to the 3 questions with GF before you put them, let's get into some headlines, shall we?
True crime headlines.
Pow! So remember to put GF in your comment. Answer those questions, those 3 questions. I'd love to hear your answers in the comments, and giving you a little bit of time, we're going to go over some headlines. Let's go over here. We all know that Melody Buzzard was in court last week, but this article had a piece it's this highlighted piece. Outside the courthouse, Melody's paternal grandmother, Lily Dennis, spoke publicly about the case and reflected on her early impressions of Buzzard, according to The Independent. When I met her 9 or 10 years ago, she was not like this. I don't know what happened, Dennis said. Dennis recalled the first time her son, Rubiel Mesa, brought Buzzard to the family home. When my son brought her to the house, she was really quiet and just looking at me from head to toe, Dennis said. I told my son, Mijo, is this girl okay? She's just staring. Dennis said Mesa, who later died in a motorcycle accident while Melody was still an infant, dismissed her concerns at the time, telling her his girlfriend was simply shy. She told The Independent that while she did not see much of Buzzard afterward, the family embraced Melody, including hosting a large baby shower. All my family came, Dennis said. That can tell you how much we loved her. We loved our baby very much. Dennis also questioned any potential insanity defense, saying she believes the crime was planned. I don't think that's right because she planned everything, Dennis said, referencing allegations that Buzzard switched license plates on a rental car during a road trip with Melody. Investigators have said Melody was considered at risk after she failed to appear at school and her whereabouts could not be verified. So if there is an insanity defense coming here, I think it will be a very high bar to meet. I really do. I don't think she'll make it. Okay. Remember our pal Barry Morphew? The alleged murderer of his wife, Suzanne Morphew, with Bam, the tranquilizer. He's in court today. Alamosa, Colorado. Barry Morphew was in court for an arraignment hearing Monday afternoon. He pleaded not guilty. Morphew is charged with 1 count of first-degree murder in connection with the death of his wife, Suzanne Morphew. This is the second time Barry Morphew is facing a potential murder trial. He was previously arrested and charged in Suzanne's death in May 2021, even though her body had not been found yet. Days before his trial was set to begin, charges were dropped by prosecutors and Morphew was released from custody. Her remains were later found and he was indicted. So, Barry Morphew has pleaded not guilty. The final headline of the day comes from crimecod.com, my true crime website, written by Jacob Charles. This one I cannot believe this. Prosecutors say man hid in estranged wife's home before killing her with cyanide. What is it with estranged spouses? Okay, Mineola, New York. Prosecutors say a New York man slipped into his estranged wife's home after she left to take their children to school, waited until she was alone, and then killed her by forcing her to inhale cyanide in what authorities described as one of the most disturbing domestic homicide cases they have seen. According to the Nassau County District Attorney's Office, Asif Qureshi, 53, was arraigned on a grand jury indictment charging him with second-degree murder and 2 counts of first-degree burglary in connection with the death of 46-year-old Alina Asif. Qureshi pleaded not guilty before Judge Terrence Murphy and was remanded. He's scheduled to return to court on the 18th of February. Oh my goodness. And you can get more information, but allegedly his wife unlocked the front. Let's see. Authorities say that after she left, Qureshi, who did not live in the home and was estranged from his wife, allegedly unlocked the front door and entered the house. Prosecutors said he was dressed in a dark hooded jacket, baseball cap, black gloves, and a mask, and was carrying a red and white tote bag. Dude. So yeah, read more about that and other true crime stories on Crime Cod. Those are your headlines.
True crime headlines.
Wow. Okay, let's go back over to your comments here. Yes, Harry Morgan. Thanks, guys. And Marie Jubenville says, 6-month fin addict. I was also a sickly child. I was born with spina bifida and had to have many surgeries. So grateful for modern medicine. Maybe I was thinking of James Garner because we mentioned the Rockford Files, but Support Your Local Sheriff is one of my very favorite movies of all time. Perhaps my favorite movie of all time was a TV movie called The Shadow Riders with Sam Elliott and Tom Selleck. Second only to that would be Support Your Local Sheriff. I love it. It's me, Shauna says, I grew up on MASH. My dad was a dead ringer for Hawkeye. Nice. Nice. Rin Tin Tin's Refuge still looking out for me. Per AI, yawning is thought to be controlled by neurons in the hypothalamus, triggering the reflex. This may help regulate body temp, increase alertness, or message changes in physiological states. All right. All right. Catherine Fitzpatrick says, early memory is wintertime at night, bundled in a snowsuit, being a toddler in my most awesome car seat with my own steering wheel, with my dad who'd taken me with him on an errand. What a beautiful memory. I love it. I love it. Emily says, Gavin, have you considered a tangents only stream? Maybe I should do that as a members only. Like, this is just going to be a tangent stream. That's funny. Lady Hawk and Labyrinth are top movies for Mooney. Yeah, I was tempted to watch Lady Hawk pretty recently. I almost did it. I wasn't in the mood for the music. That's really what it boiled down to for me. If we could take Lady Hawk, let's just take Lady Hawk and de-80s-ify the music, it would be an all-time classic. But with that music, man, it's stuck right there in the 80s. Now, I like visiting the 80s from time to time. I just could not do it. Anybody else answer any of the 3 questions? You guys got to answer those 3 questions. That's okay. That's okay. We had a fun time together, and I appreciate your comments. Oh, and yes, Batgirl, Sam Elliott and Tom Selleck. Those might be the 2 greatest mustaches of all time. I mean, of all time. They're just so good. Patricia Burns, oh, you're welcome, Mooney. Patricia Burns says, The Ballad of Buster Scruggs is a fantastic. Indeed it is. And the best vignette in The Ballad of Buster Scruggs is the first one with Buster Scruggs. I love it. I could watch it over and over and over again. Guys, thank you so much for spending some time with me tonight. Please remember that you can always find me on my website, gavinfish.com. It is always linked down in the description below. I have posted a new blog article today about a case that I've been following, a civil case that I've been following. I invite you to check that out. Also, while you're on gavinfish.com, you can click on this little fishy over here, and that will take you to the fish tank where we hang out on the Book of Faces. We talk about all things true crime and the cases that we're covering and just generally fun stuff. Also, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, X. I'm on all the socials, so please, you're invited to follow me in all the places. One last thank you to all of you who commented so kindly today to my short about answering the questions about why the long hair and have you lost weight? I'm so concerned. I really appreciate all of the attaboys, and yeah, you guys are the best. So we'll see you tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on this channel. Until then, I bid you adieu. Thanks so much for spending some time with me. Good night. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.